Chris, and that is Isaac. That's a reverse order than we did just a few minutes ago. Just to
Gotta change things up.
Just in case anybody was. Oh, that's what you guys said. So I changed it up from the very beginning. All right. So as you guys know, this is Burgers and Bourbon. This is Burgers and Bourbon.
Oh yes, sir. Hey.
Aha!
I already had it up.
Oh, we already did it.
I didn't know it was a.
Oh, okay.
Is this a
Oh, we
paid,
got it again.
Is this a paid position? Or?
Yeah,
is.
it's a twofer now.
Yeah. All right. So Burgers and Bourbon. What we do is we review burgers. Local burgers have to be from here, not a chain. We also do bourbon. So we did burger last week. It was Burger IM. It's over in St. Matthews. Pretty good burger. We all rated it. What? Average 6.5, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Good burger.
Just remember, I gave it the highest rating. If you own the burger place, so I get the free burger.
You get the free.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. So tonight we are reviewing another bourbon. Last week we did Willet. This week we are doing Peerless. Now, if you look at see how much is gone. Okay, I'm just gonna get a close up. See how much is gone. That is not. We did not do that tonight. We may sound like we did it all tonight, but we didn't. This actually has been around our office for a little. Yeah, it's been in our office for a little bit, right?
I feel like a lot of these disclaimers sound like guilt, but
Yeah, they do.
it's also true even if he sounds super guilty.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's very true. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a little bit about Peerless. Actually, this guy is.
Yeah.
And we're going to let it turn over to him. And then what we're going to do is we're going to all taste it. We're going to give you our input on what it tastes like, what like it, don't like it. We're going to rate it 1 to 10, and that'll be the show. So it's all yours.
Yeah, so Peerless, Kentucky Peerless Distilling Company, if you haven't been down there, it's downtown Louisville.
Here, shoot that bottle real
All right,
quick.
go.
So you
A
know
little
what I'm
close
talking
up,
about.
yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, and I was actually got FEI Louisville, one of the guys we consult with a lot on the investment banking side. That helps us a lot. He owns a contract CFO company called Bulletproof Finance, and he's the president of an organization called FEI. And so they've been trying to mix it up, obviously, like a lot of people, because they've been having Zooms. And so one of the recent meetings that happened in the last couple months, Peerless sent out a bunch of samples to all the FEI members and the guests, and we got to do a tasting with the gentleman there, Corky. And so what they've done is they've tried to really make sure that quality is like everything. And so they've intentionally said that instead of just making a bunch, they want to make like the right amount where they can control everything. And so at a baseline level, everything they make is super high quality. And that's not to say that others that produce a lot don't have high quality, but at least for a startup, that's how they've chosen to do it. That's the best way for them to control the situation, and that's the way that they choose to make it. What's beautiful about bourbon and the bourbon industry is it's a craftsman kind of a business, right? And so the nice thing is there's no one way that you can make delicious bourbon. It does have some rules with fresh white oak barrel and some things that make it uniquely Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. But within those parameters, there's still some flexibility on how a business might choose to approach it. So one of the things is almost all their stuff, their rye, their bourbon, all their things are pretty much award-winning. They really haven't had anything that's done poorly. The other cool thing I like about this one is it's really sweet. It amongst some other bourbons, it's not super harsh. So if you're like a person trying to get into bourbon, this is a nice one to kind of ease into, like kind of, sit in the pool and kind of splash your feet in the water a little bit and test it out. Instead of going to like a 130 proof Booker's maybe as your starting point. And so, it's really good, really tasteful. They're just trying to make a really good, it's got a rich flavor, but it's also fairly easy to drink. It's really mellow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that's just a little bit about Peerless.
Which, when you say it's mellow, this is 108 proof, if I'm reading that right.
So
this is fairly stout.
It's not a bourbon. The proof sometimes doesn't tell you about the harshness, right? You can have a 90 proof something that tastes like engine fuel. So
I think I've had a couple of those.
So this is something that, to Chris's point, he's looking at the bottle. It's 108, but it definitely doesn't taste like engine fuel for sure. But the main thing is you don't feel it. You would never guess if you had to take. I wonder how strong this is. You wouldn't think it'd be 108.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
We'll start her up.
Let's check it out. And by the way, if you this is actually their small batch. I don't know if that's how they make everything or whatnot. But if you're looking for the bottle, hopefully you can take a screenshot of it and go track that down.
Cool
and
thing.
What is that a bottle? Just ballpark.
Yeah. What's the price on this?
Depends where you get it. You could see I actually am not 100% sure because it's been so convenient at Total Wine. I just put it all in the cart.
Would you guess it's somewhere right around $40?
No,
it's higher than that. I think
Okay,
it's
60
more.
bucks?
It's like $60.
All right, $60.
But please don't quote me on that. And like some of the places in town are more or less expensive than others. I love shopping at Total Wine, but I love local shops too.
Yep.
But it's easy for me a lot of times. I send out a lot of care packages, and that another cool thing I'll say, it's a cool bottle. It's a cool bottle. Like
Yeah,
I
very
love.
cool.
You can see the top. It's a nice heavy gold top, which is really cool.
Yep.
And so I kind of like that they've done a little different. I just think it's really
Well, it looks like it's got a strap with rivets or something on it, almost like this is a barrel.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool bottle.
Yeah.
It is a very cool bottle. And by the way, if you're out shopping for bourbon, call us because there's a couple of little places that you would never know have really good bourbons. As a matter of fact, we were. This is a funny story. So my girlfriend and I were driving around, and we happened to stop at this weird, strange building, and we thought it was a convenience store, so I went in there, and evidently I looked like I was out of place, and I was, because I went in there looking for a water, and the guy comes up, it was a liquor store. It didn't say anything about liquor store on the outside, and the guy's like, hey, I got the premium bourbon over here, in this closet. So I went in there, they had some really, really good stuff. So when you first walk in, if you don't see a lot of super high premium, they may have it, it may be somewhere that's not out on the floor, so make sure you ask. All right. So real quick, let's just talk about things that that when we taste it, like what you taste, what smell wise, what are you smelling for, what you smell in these, what kind of give us your thought. I mean, you're probably the more resident expert in this than the two of us. So
The whiskey raccoon.
yeah. By the way, if you want to see the raccoon story, check out last week. He brought up the raccoon story last week.
Yeah.
No, is there anything in particular?
Well, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. All right, we'll do that first.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, just the nose. I mean, it's pleasant. There's no harshness, even on like a snifter like this, that has a really narrow kind of top, where the kind of the nose of it could be kind of harsh depending on how the whiskey is.
Yep.
Because all the vapors and everything come out the top are more concentrated.
Yep.
The Glencairn glasses are made like this because it, like spirits tasting competitions and everything, it focuses all the flavors so you can get as much as you can in a sip or give them a little smell. So what do you smell, Brian?
It's a little. So if we compare the one from last week, which is Willet, this is a little spicier. I like a little bit smoother on the back end. So as I said last week, I definitely like my bourbon neat, which is basically just pour it right out of the glass. That's the way I prefer to drink it. However, I have a certain set of bourbons that I like to drink neat, but that doesn't mean I drink them all that way, because I don't. This one, I would actually, what my preference would be to take, hang on, now I look dumb on the show, but my preference is to take a piece of ice and just chill it a little bit. That'd be my preference, the way I like it. I like it, and it's, when you put a cube in there, it's a little less spicy to me.
Well, sometimes water can open it up, and I've seen people going, getting having some Kentucky branch water, which is just limestone water, the same thing they make it with, and they'll take a eyedropper and drop some, that kind of stuff. You can get a little crazy, but using a cube, actually a lot of times there is like a little stigma that if you're really trying to try really good whiskey, you don't put anything in it.
Right.
But a lot of people will tell you that just adding a little bit of water, a little ice,
makes it better.
it makes it easier to drink, but also tends to open up some of the flavors.
Pick up flavors that you wouldn't if you didn't go through that.
Sometimes again, it's the same concept as the top. If you put a little water in there, guess what it does? It makes things a little less harsh, which may actually make it easier, especially early when you're starting to learn about bourbon and whiskey. Makes it a little easier because it's not so hard. It's a little more easy for you to deal with it. As you have had a little more, not a lot in a short period of time, but over time as you've had some, it's all the kind of harsh components, you get a little more used to them, you just don't sense them as much.
Yeah, now I will tell you this, that you can definitely tell this is a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the nose on this to me is heavy caramel, which is that sweetness coming out.
Mm-hmm. So what's your thought?
Yeah, and there's definitely
I love Peerless, but I already know, because I've had this before, that I do like to cut this with a cube of ice. because I think it does bring out a lot of the
Well,
flavor.
you pretty much cut everything with a cube ice.
Most things I do, not all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I think you said that last week. You prefer.
Well, you-
prefer
As a general rule, I do.
You cut your filtered water with ice, so we're aware.
Did that
It does.
during
It does.
burgers.
It almost there is a little bit just like a Werther's original in there.
Yeah, very much so.
So yeah.
So what's your thoughts on the taste?
Well,
You've had it a lot, so.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Peerless. They were a speaker at Kentucky Bourbon Society a while back too,
Yep.
and Kentucky Bourbon Society did a barrel pick with them. Their rye
is fantastic.
Their rye is amazing because it's a more mellow rye.
You're talking about Peerless?
Yes.
Yeah, Peerless.
Yeah, okay.
It
Their
is
rye,
really, really
Their
good.
rye is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now the price point, again, you really want to really love rye to pay for it. But again, they kind of know that it's because they're doing really small batches that it's going to make the price okay. So they know they have to deliver on quality, and
Right.
they've done a good job with that.
Cool. All right, rate it. What do you think?
Ooh, on a 10 scale.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week.
I think that's what we said. Probably an 8, maybe an 8.5.
Okay. Yeah.
Peerless
okay.
is good stuff.
Yeah. So last week I was an 8 because I actually really liked the Willet. This, to me, and again, I judge it based on drinking it neat because that's the way I like my bourbon. This is not. It is a little bit more of a back end harshness
Yeah.
to it. Not bad. There's a lot more that is a lot worse that I can't even potentially drink neat. But this one I would go a 7. I don't know there'd be much more. If I had to lean anything, it'd probably be more of a 6.5 than a 7. But I like it.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7, not because I don't think it's delicious, but when you compare it to like a Michter's, which is a little bit less expensive,
Mhm.
I feel like it's pleasant just like a Michter's. And again, I'm not saying that it's not better I'm not trying to say which one's better. Again, you guys know I'm like a value person and like an experience. I think like in certain scenarios, like I might be willing to spend the extra money on the Peerless just because it's something that people maybe haven't had, especially outside of Louisville. This is super hard to get. I mean,
Yeah.
we're lucky here in this market to be able to get
Yep.
a good supply of Peerless and pretty much be able to walk in anytime or, just get on the app and
Yeah.
drop it in the cart. So, I mean, I would, did I give it a 6 or a 7? I can't remember.
7.
I give it a 7 just because I feel like there's some others that are less expensive that are just as available
Yeah.
that are equally pleasant to me.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So that's the review of Peerless. You guys can check it out again. Let's get a little close up so you can see it. Okay. It's very, very good. You can find it most places, not every place, as he was saying. It's a little bit hard to get. If you want to know, maybe we have ideas of where you might be able to pick it up. So if you're from out of town and want to know, we're not going to ship anything to you, so
Don't ask.
Don't ask that. But you might be able to pick it up a couple of places. We might know where it is. So shoot us some question, email, call us, whatever, and we'll let you know. But that's it for this week. So tune in next week. We'll review another burger and another bourbon. Anything else from you guys?
Cheers.
No.
Yeah,
Hey,
cheers.
cheers! One last time. Cheers! Everybody have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys next week.